good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. Again, I'm Shaninan Aragonsalia, your ate Shaninan Aragonsalia, and for today's video, we will going to tackle about the Philippine cultures. So first, we're going to tackle about the promoting and preserving traditional cultural performances of the Philippines. So stay tuned for I will show you on how the Filipino is very unique within their culture. So, the Republic Act number 7356 created as the National Commission for Cultural and the Arts, or NCCA. So these are several objectives of commission, among which are to encourage and to support programs through publication, exhibition, production, performance, staging, and reproduction of original Filipino creations. It is also to promote the population's of information about artists and cultural achievements and programs in coordination with government agencies and non-government organizations and institutions. Third, it is also to preserve and to integrate traditional culture and its various creative expression.
The Cultural Center of the Philippines, or the CCP, that is in Filipino, Sentrong Pangkultura ng Pilipinas. So it is a government-owned and controls corporation established to preserve, develop, and promote arts and culture in the Philippines. It is established through Executive Order Number 30 in 1966 by President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. The CCP is headed by 11 members Board of Trustees and currently headed by Chairperson Margareta Moran Florendo. Its currently president is Arsenio Lizaso. It holds its headquarters at the Tanghalang Pambansa, or in English, the National Theatre, a structure designed by national artist for architecture Leandro V. Locsin. Events and programs. So the scope of activities is the center engages in include architecture, film, and broadcast, arts, dance, literature, music, new media, theater, and visual arts. So, music, dance, and theater are often key features of cultural promotion intended to attract tourists and regularly featured in the itineraries of tour operators. Although, this may bring more visitors and increase revenue to a country or community and offer a window into its culture, it may also result in the emergence of new ways of presenting the performing arts which have been altered for the tourist market.
Wow! So now we're done to the first topic, so let's proceed. Let's tackle about the promoting and preserving indigenous cultural practices. So indigenous cultural practices are developed over centuries by our ancestors and are passed orally from generation to generation. It was proven to be a perfect scaffold to sustainable development, connecting the past, the present, and the future. The Filipino people is rich in customs and traditions, but however, these practices are at escalating rate of deterioration due to consistent assimilation that resulted from the continuing loss of interest of these practices from young people. So here are the traditional or indigenous cultural practices for us to discuss.
About dating. So let's talk about dating. Women during the Spanish regime were generally shy, refined, and inhibited. Their behavior was strictly monitored by the family to maintain their good reputation. A girl was not seen alone with a man, and he did not touch them, and not even her hand, when talking to each other. They were always an arm length apart. A man got to know a woman only by being a friend of the woman's trusted friend, that who would help in case he wanted to have the opportunity to see the girl out in streets. He did not directly approach the women, because that was impolite. On the other hand, the women did not face a man alone. To exchange glances with the man was unbecoming. A man who had the courage to ask for a date had to pass several tests, and first, he got the permission of the girl's parents to visit the daughter. Once he was permitted, his formal visit was in full attendance of the older members of the family who also participated in the conversation. The hardest task was how to convince the girl to say yes, because the women played hard to get. She kept putting off her answer, and when the men finally succeeded, the girl was strictly chaperoned during their date so that he was not even able to whisper romantic words or hold the hands of the girl.
So that was the culture of the Filipinos about dating. So now let's talk about marriage. Marriage is a sacred to the Filipinos, and it is one becomes the butt of jokes if he or she remains single. A baccalaureate is considered a potential competitor for the attention of a husband. Parents train their sons and daughters in the proper choice of a mate, and both are reminded that if they marry, they had to get along well, not just with one another but also with their in-laws.
Before marriage, the boy's parents seek the approval of the girl's parents for the marriage with their daughter. This is called pamanutan. The man's parents often take along someone whom they believe is highly respected by the girl's parents, and this was especially when they fear that the girl's parents would say no. The grandparents of the man also joined the pamanutan, and they first engaged into discussion regarding the latest happenings and when the proper climate is established. The man's father stated the purpose of their visit, and which is to ask for the girl's hand in marriage. The girl's parents are not expected to agree immediately. They will first talk about the shortcomings of their daughters. If the future in-laws persist, the parents of the bride give their consent. The details of their marriage are discussed and agreed upon during the next visit of the future parents-in-law. The wedding reception is held in the bride's home, and members of the community volunteer to help bridegroom in one way or another by either contributing some money or by offering their services in the preparation of the wedding feast. About the art. Filipinos are lovers of art. Their art is reflected in the things they do and the way they believe in daily life. Our ancestors passed their time singing awaits, corridas, and reading stories about the bravery of legendary heroes. For stage dramas, they performed the zarzuela and the mora-mora forms of art, which depicted the life of the people. The best examples of architecture of the 16th to 19th centuries are the churches built by the Spaniards with the help of the Filipinos. They are structures built in Baroque style with elaborate curves, arcs, altars, and images of saints. Filipinos also love music in any form. This is evident in the presence of various strings and wind musical instruments in almost all communities even before the coming of the Spaniards. The skills of the Filipinos in playing musical instruments can gauge when one listens to a number played by a rondalia. A rondalia is composed of musicians that play strange musical instruments such as the guitar and the ukulele. The rondalia was popular entertainer in almost all sorts of gatherings like baptism, weddings, fiesta, and funerals. It also rendered accompaniment of vocals, violins, and other instruments, solos, and choral ensembles. The rondalia thus became an essential part of the social gathering. The Filipino also love to sing and dance. Their song ranged from folk to pop, classic condaman to modern operas, and they sing to their soul content. Dancing is the moving spirit among many Filipinos. Their skills on dance floor is superb. Early indigenous dances represented nature. Other Filipino dances reflected Malay, Muslim, Spanish, and American influences. Folk dances are very common ballroom dancing, such as cha-cha, tango, rumba, and many more.
also the favorites of young and old people.